Howdy, Possum Patty here, and look who's awake, little Miss Titi. Titi. Titi, come say hello. Come say hello. Yes, and it is Flip Through Friday. This hashtag is hosted by Christina down at the shack. And on Flip Through Fridays, people share what they've been working on or perhaps journals that they have finished. And today I have a flip through of a little golden book, The Colors of Winter. Yes, I do. Yes, Titi. And I finished this one recently. My last flip through was that giant right there, my giant monster Christmas in July journal, which I finally finished. This one I did start a while ago too, and I made a point of finishing this one up this year. So I've also been working on my mushroom shaped journal, and I haven't finished the cover yet, but isn't that looking fun? I will share these two things over at the table, so come on along. So yes, I've made a few changes, if you were watching me yesterday, to the front of my mushroom journal. I did hand stitch around the edge of the pink. It looked like this to start with. This is going to be for the back. I hand stitched around, and I had this pink doily floating around here, and I said, and I put that over there, and I put the window on top. I said, you know what? I like that. So I hand-stitched around that, and then I took the lace off, the lace that was hiding the frog, because I love this little frog. It's so cute. And look at all the work I put into it, hand-stitching all around. So I decided I didn't want him covered up. So I took that lace off instead of sewing it on, and I added this cute little ribbon trim that I got from Temu the other day. I can list that below if I find that link. But it has flowers and butterflies. And I said, well, that's what the frog wants. The frog wants some flowers and butterflies. And then you saw me working on this bark to make the shutters. And what I did was I took the thickest piece and I actually cut it in half. And I did glue some of that purple foam. Oh, here it is. I got everything all over the place. So with the bark, I glued this purple foam onto the back just to kind of give it some support, because I just kept thinking that, you know, being the cover of the journal, that it needs to have some support. It needs some flexible support, you know, with turning the pages and all that kind of stuff. Anyway. So I put some of this purple thin foam on the back of the bark, and then I glued on this little burlap twine trim. Say that 3 times fast. There's a burlap twine trim. I glued that on, and then I took some of this embroidery thread and I sewed through the twine there and sewed it to the material. And I did that on the top and the bottom of each shutter. And then I kept thinking sequins. I don't know why, sequins. So I got out my little tub of sequins. Now this box is way too big for the amount of sequins that I have. But I was thinking of adding some of the flowers to the page. So while I was looking for little flowers like this one, I came across these butterflies. And I'm like, oh, look at these butterflies. The fairy house mushroom needs a butterfly. So I haven't gotten to the flowers yet, and I started sewing on a butterfly. So I layered up 3 of them, and the bottom one is kind of magenta, I think. Dark pink, light red, and I'm not sure. Then an orange one, and then a little tiny gold one. And the 2 smaller ones, I cut off the head so that you could only see the antenna of the larger one. And it had 2 holes in it. Well, the little one only had 1 hole, but the large ones have 2 holes. So I just sewed that right to the shutter piece. And of course, you can see my little fairies through the window. So I'm loving this part. And I'm loving my little frog. So there's more that I'm going to add to this. Yes, I'm going to add a vine. I'm going to add a vine kind of growing up this side, like right on the seam there. So, you know, like all the cottages need like a little vine growing up, and I might have one coming around this way or coming around that way. And then maybe I'll put some little flowers around to add to it. More interest, more interest. And I started worrying about the paper, if it's strong enough to hold to hold all of this, but it's doing pretty well, especially since I put this fabric in the middle for reinforcement. And I think once I put some stuff on this side, that'll also make it a little stronger too. So that's what I did today. I did a lot of sewing and work on this. And, you know, and then I was like, oh, I said I would work on the back later, but as I was doing this, I was getting ideas for the back. So I went and found some more of the same material. I decided to make it the same material. And I did find another linen doily, so I can put that there. And instead of a window, I think I'm going to put a door on this one. And then I have my trim to go there. And I have a little frog. Here he is. I stuck him in the pin cushion holder so he wouldn't get lost. And I have another little frog, like where I got this one from. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the netting over him, and then I'm going to stitch all around. And I'm going to sew him on down here. So the back can have a frog too. So it's going to be kind of like this, but a little bit different. And I'll probably put some vines and flowers and butterflies and sequins and anything that sparkles or looks like fun to me. So that's how that is coming along. So I did work on it today. I'm going to pin this guy here so TT doesn't run off with him. And I better pin this on here. She's already stealing. I had a little piece of this ribbon on the table and she stole it. So I got to pin everything down. So I'm thinking, I don't think I have another pink doily. So I was thinking of just making this. I kind of like this around the door here. I'll probably draw the door just so, because I drew the window, I'll draw a door. And then I'll put this like around the door like that on the back. But then I'll decorate it up too. So yeah, I worked on this, but it's going to take me a while to get it all done. So many little tiny details that I'm doing. I can't believe it. Oh, and I found a little plastic fern. I was like, oh, does the frog want a little fern? Oh, here's a flower. I gotta hide these things, or else you know who will be here to take them away. All right, so that is my progress on my mushroom. So this is a altered little golden book, and I believe there is a video on probably almost every single page in this book. It has 3 signatures, and it is, where my little ruler is, it is probably 2.5 inches. I should have made it 3 because, you know, it's very chunky. All my journals wind up like this, very, very chunky. Does not have a lot of things poking out the top, but it does have, has one big one poking out. So I will put the playlist below on how I made the journal. I think there might be a video on how I put it together. Oh, I added these on. I just had these beads and I put these little charms on here, and they're all owls. And you can see the sort of bluish teal and the rose pink there kind of match the sparkles on the material that's covering the binding. So I did that one day, yeah. So in this one, I did not preserve the story, but there will be some pages around where you can see little bits of the original pages of the books. And this is just a memory page made out of Christmas cards and baby possum making a teddy bear snowman. A teddy bear snowman there. And those are probably Dollar Tree stickers. Some of this I made quite a while ago. Yeah, 2022, January 30th, the sun comes out after the blizzard, and Mr. Possum was out clearing the driveway. So I have these little pictures I printed out from my Canon IV mini printer. And this is just one of the original pages from the book. Now this was an old painting of icicles I did one day. And it was just a practice fun thing, and I just cut out part of it and made a pocket. And I have a shaker card in there. Oh, I have two shaker cards in there. And this is just probably some Dollar Tree trim there. And this is an old house we lived in New Haven, and I've got some sequins in there. And this is a picture of my sister in an old house that she had, but it had snow. She's waving at the door there. And this one was the old house in the snow. And this one was the old house we lived in the snow. I got some shakers in there. And this was this house. In the back, there's icicles hanging off the eaves. Just some winter pictures, some shaker cards I made. Icicles, because I put the icicle there, so everything is frosty and shiny. Icicles on that one. I had those in sideways, didn't I? Okay. Let's put them back the way they were. So a lot of this is memory keeping. And some ribbon. Oh, and this is also a watercolor I did in the background. It's just like a night sky with snow on it, snow on the ground. So this is an old watercolor I did. I made a belly band. And the Christmas card envelopes. I made this folder. I added this on. I put little glitter in the snowflakes. And this is the flap of the envelope, so I made those into pockets. And these are some really old pictures of Possum Patty in South Carolina, probably 1973 or 74. Very old. This is when my ex was in the Air Force, 1973. Really tall snowman there. This was the 100-year snowstorm. Yeah, South Carolina, we had 18 inches of snow, and I put some glitter on here. The town did not even own a snowplow. Everybody was snowed in for 3 days. Be joyful. I got a little trolley there. Isn't that cute? And a flip here, and baby possum and his ex there. And they are, what do you call it, snowshoeing, going snowshoeing. Oh, see, I had this sticker that was a trolley, and I had this magazine page that was a trolley, and I cut out this scrapbook paper there. Be joyful. There's all little bits of scrapbook paper there. So everything is snowy and wintry, because it is the colors of winter. And some scrapbook paper. I have quite a few pictures of gnomes I cut out from an old book there. And I put a little bit from the story. Gnomes learn cooking, spinning, knitting, and how to identify animals of prey. In short, everything a woman should know about running a home. Oh, and this was a fun story. As the snow was melting, I saw all these trails and tracks, and it's really funny. Local rodents. It could have been like a meadow mouse or something, some little mouse or metal vole or something. They make all these tunnels over the snow, and when the top layer of snow melts, you can see all the little tracks in the snow. This is from a Japanese children's learning book. And this was about a snow day, and I've got one of those stereoscopic pictures. You put this in that old-fashioned thing when you look through, it kind of puts these together, makes it look 3D. And I have some pictures of some evergreen ferns, wood fern and a Christmas fern here at Soggy Bottom. These things are pretty thick. A little pocket here. I think that was a card. Chilly sunrise on January 26th. It says, I can only see the sunrises in the winter. This is 2022, because there's no leaves on the trees. And I made this card. I think I die cut these. Somebody gave me this die cut, and I cut out these bells, and I hand stitched around. And I put a little pocket on this side. Oh, this is from Janet Nash's fabric and napkin video. I know you will find something to do with them. So who made this? Oh, Linda D. Oh, okay. Linda D made this. You take the material and you put the napkin on the fabric and you make a little tag. Oh, Linda D. She sent me these. These. Linda D sent those to me. Linda's Mixed Up Mess. So I made this little pocket to put them in. And this is about squirrels. A lot of people remember this. I was talking about the drays, D-R-E-Y, which is what you call a squirrel nest. You look up in the tree and you see all the leaves up there, and the sort of squirrels hang out, especially during the winter. And this is from a magazine, Maison Catherine. And I use that because my sister's name is Catherine, and this fold is all about telephones. I took a picture of that because you don't see too many payphones around here anymore. And that was on the side, I think, of a McDonald's, and there was a workman out there, and he put his Pepsi on top of the phone. So there is my sister Catherine on the phone. The center spread is the backyard birds. And we have all of these. We have lots of juncos and tufted titmouse. And we have the white-breasted nuthatch and the chickadee and the cardinal and the blue jay, except for we don't have the white-throated sparrow, we have the chipping sparrow. And I've never seen a red-breasted nuthatch, only the white one. And there she is on the phone again. This is an old picture of her on the phone. And I put a cardinal there. And here's Stanley with his first snowman. So this was December 12th, 22. So when I started off, it was like, oh, that was 22. This is a memory page. Sisters in the Snow. This was March 14th, which is Pie Day, and I made a chicken pot pie that day. I used my watercolors to write out the calculation of pi all the way down the page. It says, I wish I can calculate pi. I only know 3, 1, 4. It's from that Japanese book. And here's a belly band. This is very festive. Must be a birthday, right? Oh, this is a round flip. This is interesting. I forgot all about this. So there's the cake, and you swing that out, and there's a slice of cake, a marble cake, and you swing that out, and there's Mr. Possum eating his birthday cake, and you swing that out, and then down here it says party time. Find the recipe at Bake With Us. Oh, I think this is a paper plate with cupcakes. Yeah, that was a paper plate. So I use these brads to make this round, funny. I love it, though. I forgot I made this. I'll have to make another one of these. And it all goes back in there like that. Isn't that fun? I sewed around the edge. And TT's yelling. She wants something. Oh, there's a lot of Mod Podge on a napkin. in the background, party napkins. That's why it's a little sticky. I just put this little clip because it's it floats around too much. Oh, this was really fun. I made this faux paper here with real dried ferns and dried flowers and pieces of thread, fibers, and sequins. I sewed around it. And I believe this is just a birthday card. Here's a birthday card for my sister. I won't show that because she went a little crazy in there. And I added some washi tape at the top. This is just another birthday card. I put a little picture of my sister in there. Another birthday card. Picture of that sister. Stanley. Oh, this was a hike we took, I think, or a walk. Oh, this was Stanley's Christmas tree with the red ball in there. That was his Charlie Brown Christmas tree. This was the rabbit tracks in the snow. This is one of the original pages from the book. And here we have the gnome feeding the baby rabbit. Gray are little footprints that like to follow me. That was the original page, so I put the little rabbit footprints there. And this was a hot cocoa page. This mitten came from a children's book. And a picture of hot cocoa. My sister gave me cocoa for Christmas with a peppermint peep in there. A big marshmallow peppermint peep. So if you like marshmallows in your hot cocoa, try a peep. Try putting a peep in there. This was February 22. That's over a year ago. So this page was made from a cocoa box. And this one has little bells on the tab. And I used a wire, and this is probably a wire from ribbon. You know, when you get this ribbon, it has a wire in it. Or maybe not that thin one, but the thicker ones do. I know there was one back here. This one, like a wire comes in this. So I pull the wires out, and sometimes I save them, and you can make little things. And these are just little bells from the Dollar Tree. And I drew a peppermint peep, and I gave it a little nest there, red and white, because it was a peppermint peep. And making lasagna here. Oh, the great regot shortage on New Year's Day. I wanted to make lasagna on New Year's Day, and I could not find regot anywhere. Sold out everywhere. So I finally found it January 16th, and I made the lasagna then. That's funny. 2 lasagnas, gluten-free for me and regular for Mr. Possum. First day hike on January 1st, and I drew a picture of the spotted wintergreen that I saw. Some fungus and some beard lichen. And Stanley out there in the pine needles, white pine. First day hike 2022. So this is first day hike 2023. And this is first day hike 2022. Yes, everything is out of order, but you know, that's the way I roll. And moss and ferns and club moss. Some nature journaling. So I have memory keeping and nature journaling and daily journaling. There's a little poem about the pussy willows. Oh, this is a legend of the pussy willows. And that's when my pussy willows first started, buds started to pop open there. And I love this vintage pussy willow picture here. And a great sunset on December 28th. No, it's not in order. Valentine's Day. Valentine Hearts Bingo. Somebody sent me a whole pack of this stuff. Brittany at Brittany Linger Blinger Creations sent me this SpongeBob card. It's a card, but it's a journal made out of a card. Very fun. She sent me a little note, and she sent me this bingo thing. And this is made from a pizza box. And we went to Frank Pepe's for pizza that day. There's a big story about Frank Pepe's, but I can't say all the stories now because there's a half-an-hour video on every single page. And this was, this was our first stop on the Garnet Trail. Yes. Isn't this pretty? I love that paper. Oh, and this is Sparkle. This is more from the same adventure. We were looking for the garnets. First stop on the Garnet Trail. And I love this paper with the crystals. I want to do a doodle like this. Lizzie Brewer, she's been doing some doodles and I love them. March 15th, this was 2022. There's a moon up in the sky there. Oh, here's my, this was before I had my sister journal. I put Dee, Deb, and Kathy. My pictures of my 3 sisters sent me. One had her nails done, one took a picture of the sunset, and one had her cat curled up on her lap while she was working from home. And this is a Japanese character for love, or Chinese. Oh, this is the day I made the coffee cup stain with my new craft, what do you call it, a rubber stamp crafting kit. Oh, and I made a dragon stamp too. Oh, so this is the dragon stamp here. That's made with the dragon stamp. That's the dragon scales. It's not a dragon, it's dragon scales, okay. And then with the carving set, I made this a tea stain too. I did 2 times, on the 12th and on the 17th. I did 2 different ones. Today I made ransom letters. Yeah, I went through the magazine, I cut up the magazine and saved a whole bunch of letters. I used those on a couple pages. I wanted to doodle a flower this day. It's like something stuck to this. Something from that page, I don't know. Let's see, what's in here? Oh, these are pictures. I gave these away. I had a green one, a pink one, and a blue one. I took a picture of them because I gave them away. And these are the people who won them. Just remember what I did. Just some daily journaling. And there's Baby Possum. What is Blanky? It's a memory page. Oh, and this, I think this has a magnet on it. Yeah. Happy birthday. Esther sent me a picture of the journal pages she made with the dies I sent her. So this is funny. I took a picture of the picture that she made with the dies that I sent her. And then I put it in my journal. And she sent me a little note here. I saved that. And her grandson Jonathan's like dinosaurs, so I added the dinosaurs down here. And he was very happy I did that. And this was my birthday. Brown is my birthday cupcake. Well, I took the cake mix and I made cupcakes for my birthday. I made myself cupcakes for my birthday. This was some fuzzy yarn I got. Almost soft like a rabbit. This was my trip to the mother of the American Valentine was Esther Howland. And I went and I looked at all her original cards in the museum up in Worcester, Massachusetts. Oh, it's a Worcester Historical Society. It's a museum, but they call it the Worcester Historical Society Museum. And yeah, I got to sit in their reference room and look at all the Valentine cards. And they also have a happy face room because the artist who drew the original happy face, his name was Harvey Ball. He was also from Worcester, which is funny. Harvey Ball, smiley face. And then I was looking for smiley faces, and I didn't have so many. Then all of a sudden, everybody started sending me smiley faces. I could just fill up the page with smiley faces. That was fun. Here's a vintage repro. Happy Valentine's Day. Somebody sent me this. Crafter Deidre, thank you so much. Oh, I owe her a video. I made a video, Deidre, but I lost it, so I have to do it over again. I made 2 videos just before I got sick and I lost my voice. One for Happy Meal from Dolores and one from Deidre. And then, I don't know, I must have erased them because then I couldn't find them. But I did Dolores. I did one for Dolores. I still have to do one for Deidre. These are my grandnephew and niece. Stealing hearts and blasting farts. Isn't he adorable? And then she had a heart-shaped braid in her hair for Valentine's Day. And then Mom was all dressed up for Valentine's Day. These are just retro Valentine's Day cards and washi and die cuts. This was a doodle challenge on March 16th. This is 2022. I love this. I want to do this again. This is really, really fun. Very, very easy. Anybody can do that. I'm telling you. It's just make paint blobs and then go over them in ink. And it looks like a garden. Another reproduction Valentine's Day card. Oh, my son and his friend Lydia. In that pretty Bryant Park, they were ice skating. Snow, March 10th, a little bit of snow. Ooh, the sun coming up. I like that picture, the sun coming up there. The snow on the trees. This card was made by a friend of mine in Pennsylvania. She does that thing where you cut everything out. And there's a name for it. Memory page, 1972. Possum Patty and snow there in January. On this page, I crocheted. I punched holes on the page and I crocheted an edge. That was a lot of fun. This is the only thing I know how to do crocheting. This is my extent of my crocheting skills right there. I can put an edge on something. That's it. Original page from the book. Oh, and this is the picture. I was printing this out, and it was not the right size, so I canceled the printing, but I got half the picture. So the original printout is in another journal. And then I didn't throw it away, though, but it only has half her face, but I decided to go ahead and use it anyway. This was in 2022, so this is a year ago, more than a year ago. Mr. Possum's dusting the fan in the living room. Spring cleaning. And this was last year. I had all these pretty pansies out on the deck. And my boots. This is Soggy Bottom. I always have boots. It says, I crossed off green, put blue, because my boots are blue, are my soggy boots. Here at Soggy Bottom. Yes. Original page from the book. Time to get wild. Oh, this was our sister. That was this year. Our sister lunch. We got these hats that match. Crazy sister hats. And it's just a memory page of Grandma from 1979. And I use this Mary Engelbright background on there. And the other side of that card. Oh, this is the a friend who made this card. She's a botanist, so we used to take botany walks every Wednesday and learn all about the moss and the lichen and the plants and the trees. Oh, it was a birthday card from my son, and we took a hike to Wolf's Rock. And this is... Oh, this is from when we had our sister T. We hiked around the quarry, and I brought home some rocks from the quarry. And then we went to the Bushnell Theater with Mr. Possum to see Shen Yun, which is beautiful. This was my birthday treat from Mr. Possum. It's Chinese dancing and music. Beautiful show. Beautiful show. a vintage reproduction birthday card. Death by dessert. Free dessert after a birthday dinner at the 99 house. I had steak with shrimp and lobster on top. Confused daffodils sprouting after a few warm, wet weeks. January. Usually they don't come up in January. Tag there. Some washi tape. This is an old one. 22, yeah. Baby Possum and his ex doing Mardi Gras down in Mississippi with his dad. Baby Possum, 1982. The Japanese children's book there. And I copied, this is a really fun page. I copied my Cupid doll here. And because of this lichen, I call it the belly button lichen, because its Latin name, umbilica, means, you know, like your baby, umbilicus. It's umbilicus, which means navel. So it's a baby belly button lichen. So I put the baby with the belly button. Oh, here it is, Umbilicara mammulata. That's the name of the lichen there. I love the Cupid. I should make some Cupid fairies. They already have gills, but I can make some fairies. And the last page, original page in the book, and my great niece and nephew, great or grand? Grand niece and nephew, right there. So that's it. So I wanted this to be the last page, because I love it with the snowman hugging the little girl there. So as you can see, it's a smash up of memory keeping, daily journaling, art, nature journaling, more art, things that I'm doing, adventures, pizza boxes. When I make a journal, you know, anything goes. I'm into fun. If it's fun, I like to do it. Sometimes it's pretty. Pretty is probably an accident, because mostly I just having fun and I don't think about pretty too often. Yeah, so if you think something's actually pretty, that's probably by accident. But it's a nice fat chunky journal with memories. Yeah, I started it one winter and then I left it and I went on to the spring journals because it is a winter journal, and I just said, oh, I'll finish it the next year. So I did. I finished it up. So this is 2 journals that I finished this year. This one and the giant Christmas in July journal. Well, maybe next Flip Through Friday, I'll just talk about the journals that I'm working in now, because none of them are done. So thanks for coming along for this Flip Through Friday, and be sure to check out, just check out all the other hashtags. There's a lot of people doing their flip throughs, and it's just so much fun to see what everybody else is doing and get inspired. Get inspired by what everyone is doing. So thanks for coming along today. And happy junk journaling, everybody. Bye-bye.